Welcome to a very special edition of OG55 All Halloween Horror Night stream, basically. And it's a multi-channel stream on TommyToon World and Theme Park Conductor and OG55. This stream is all about HHN. We were there a few days ago. We had an absolute blast. We're taking your questions. We're going to talk about our experience. Up next, we got Tommy Conductor in the house. Let's go. Welcome aboard, everybody, to another episode of OG55 Live. We got Tommy and Conductor in the house, and today we're talking all about our experience at HHN. We were doing it about a week ago, actually. Now it went by quick, but a really, really cool time. We're gonna play some great content from TommyToon and Conductor from the event while we talk about it. But before we dive into our festivities, Tommy, welcome back, my man. How you doing, dude?
I'm doing great, OG. Thanks for having me on, man. It was good seeing you. What a crazy weekend. Yeah, man. It was solid, bro. We locked in. It's only fitting we're doing this tonight, the beginning of the second week of HHN. But yeah, man, you can find me on YouTube at TommyToon World, Instagram at TommyToon_. That's that more day-to-day. And man, I caved in. I'm on TikTok. You could catch me on there at TommyToon_world.
There he is. There he is. Make sure you subscribe to this man and follow him on all platforms. He's family here at OG55. Support the family. TommyToon right there. We also got Mr. Conductor, Mr. Choo Choo. How you doing, man?
I'm doing well. That hair is looking fantastic. It looks good. Looks good.
You know what I'm saying, dude?
Absolutely. I'm Theme Park Conductor. You can find me on YouTube, Instagram, Blue Sky, and TikTok at Theme Park Conductor. On TikTok, I had to change it, so it's still Theme Park Conductor, but with the one at the end. You can also find me on X at Theme Conductor. You can also find me every Sunday at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, where we talk everything about the theme parks. We have amazing guests like the one and only Orange Go 55 and the Grand Explorer TommyToon World in the house, where we talk everything Universal, Disneyland, HHN, and the up and coming Christmas season, where there's going to be a lot to talk about. It's a very exciting time, and we are going to be resuming that live stream on Sundays at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time this coming Sunday. So
there he is. There he is. Subscribe to Mr. Theme Park Conductor. Show some love. You're at like 5,000 plus right now, I think, something like that.
So I am currently, as it sits, 5,262. I'm trying to reach 5,300. So
there he is. And Tommy, you're rocking a pretty similar number, right? You're 5 something, right?
I need to do more live streams like you, man. I need to get this. I need to get this locked in. But yeah, 5733. I'm almost there. But let's get me and Conductor there, man. Let's lock us in.
Hell yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Okay, so let's dive into this HHN. So this was last Friday. The three of us were there with Andre. Good dude. First time I met him, really fun guy. So out the gate. Now you guys had multiple days. I was only there that one time, that one day so far. I'll start with you, Tommy. Overall, what was the overall vibe this year, man? I mean, did it compete with other previous years? Was it better? Not as impressive? Just the overall kind of experience before we dive into the details of each house and all that.
Yeah, if I just did a quick run through, let's see. I like to say my vibe is what ticket I get. So if I'm doing RIP the first night, opening night, I think that's probably going to be the best night. But then GA is like you're in the trenches, but we were locked in and it was all the homies, right? So then that's even a different vibe when you're with a bigger group and they're friends and you're kind of all in it together. And then, the next day I did Express Unlimited. So I was just going through 5 nights like this in the beginning of the night before everybody got there. So I would say all different vibes. This held up to the expectations. I can't stress enough. This was way better than last year. I think Not Scary Farm was better than HHN last year. So that's what I'm saying. So HHN locked in. They knew they had to settle down and hunker in. And man, that John Murdy, thank you for taking your time to talk to us for a second. Me and Conductor got to meet him again and hang out with him for just like 30 seconds, but it was still cool.
It was 30 seconds of glory. You know what I'm saying? I heard
Yeah,
John Murdy.
right.
I heard he's a stand-up guy. I heard he's really, really down to earth. I've actually, you know, I will say this. I personally haven't met any of the Universal executives or creatives in person, you know, just full disclosure. But everyone that I've talked to, like you guys or anybody, my friends of the channel that have met people that are connected to that Universal family or Universal creative or whatever it is, they've always had like really good experiences and have told me they don't feel like corporate people. Like it's very like just, hey, we're going to shoot the shit with you. And it feels very down to earth. Was that the vibe you got, Tommy, when you met Murdy and stuff?
Oh yeah, that was the vibe, man. That was the vibe. And even like, you know, stumbling with my phone because I said, "Can I get a video?" And he said, "Yeah." So I was like, "Oh," so I had to switch it from picture to video because I didn't think he was gonna say yes. So like, you know, even that, him just sitting there dealing with me with that, and then Conductor had to wait for him next. So you know what I mean? Because people are starting to wait in line like he's an attraction. Like he's just sitting. He's on the side of the witch spot, the Noche Brujas. And he was just kicking it right there. But yeah, like I said, people were lining up, man. But Conductor, you got to talk to him too, right?
I did. And you know what's funny is I actually met John Murdy years ago, and it's all shout out to Mr. Scary Dre. That's how I actually met him. When I started going with him back in 2014, I think my first time running into Murdy was back in 2017. And like OG said, really stand-up guy. Very nice. And what's awesome about it, when Tommy was doing that little video with them next to the French Street Bistro, was that he had his, you know, because usually executives have their personal assistant walking around with them, and he had his personal assistant. She was trying to usher him, you know, I guess to the RIP lounge, which I'll get into that in a second, but and Murdy's all like, no, I want to just hang out here, you know, talk to my fans. So 100% I respect that, because a lot of executives, they don't like to do that. They kind of like just to show their face for a couple minutes, talk to a couple big wigs, you know, make sure their face is out in public, and then go run backstage. I really do respect Murdy 100,000% for doing that, interacting with guests, asking how the event's going, what's your favorite house, you know, is there anything I can bring next year? He listens, and that's just the head of just Universal in general. They actually do listen to their fans. They actually do want to bring experiences that they haven't brought before, and it excites fans. And we've seen it with FNAF, with Terrifier, some of these other properties, even Fallout, based off a video game from the early PlayStation days. So,
Well,
oh, go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say, oh, that's sick.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, that's sick. What
it's
is
a
that?
chocolate bar. So it's called the Rad Roach meal. So they actually eat it like it's steak. So pieces of the roach, you know, the roach is like this big. So
Yeah.
like you know, they got like the chuck up here. The Burbank briskets is like neck and stuff. So it's disgusting. But it's a whole chocolate bar. It's gone now, but yeah, it was pretty good.
That's dope, dude. That's dope. Now, Conductor, I want to tell you, I want to touch upon what you said, where Universal listens to their fans. And I would agree with you 100%, actually. I think they listen far better than Disney, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Again, I'm not trying to crap on Disney, nothing like that. But I mean, I do think Universal is much more receptive and very much more, it seems like a leaner operation. They kind of react to the criticisms faster, which is why I feel like it's very important as fans to be vocal, you know, in a respectful way, you know, because when we do that and we are vocal about, hey, you know what, Universal, this thing right here didn't really work out so great. You could probably do that a little better. They do listen. They do react. They do respond to that stuff, you know? So as fans, I think it's important to do that. Go ahead, Conductor.
Well, I was going to actually say, and it ties into exactly what you just said. look at the post that went out just probably about a week ago about the whole Waterworld situation that possibly getting removed. Universal came out, squashed that, and said, no, we are not getting rid of it. I kind of feel if it was on the opposite side and Disney was in charge of that, it would take them months to respond to something like that. And the problem I have with that, the more hysteria that is on social media about something like that, it causes people to kind of just go at it with each other. So I'm very glad Universal came out, said, no, that's not true. We're not getting rid of Waterworld. That's the type of company I want to pay for, or invest into. And how I say invest is by holding a annual pass, buying tickets to their annual or their nightly events. That's how I show that I'm contributing their company, and they respond by giving that service out to us. So
you're voting with your wallet, right? And as fans, as fans or customers or guests or whatever, we endorse by what we buy, right? And I always tell people that, like, if you're not happy with what Universal is doing or you're not happy with what Disney is doing, withdraw your money. That makes the biggest statement of all. And so you're 100% right. Now, Albert Rodriguez, big shout out to Albert, by the way. It's good to see you, Albert. Universal listens to a point. They still won't give us the Metro sets for HHN. What do you think about that, Tommy? The Metro, because you guys were telling me that when we were there the other night.
Right. So I like this. So Albert, a good statement. Go to LA Comic-Con and go to John Murdy's panel. And then I'll just leave it like that. But hey, I'll spill it for a second. But possibly we may be getting something like that, but not for HHN. You know what I mean? So just keep your eye out. I don't know if they'll bring a house back to the Metro lot like for HHN, but I'm hearing things for Fan Fest nights.
Oh,
so can't drop it all yet though, because I don't even think we got the go ahead for that. So we'll just keep it at that, right, Conductor?
Yeah. So we had the Metro sets back in 2019. That was the last time we've ever had them. I kind of feel that the studio is starting to catch up with their filming. Now, I want to make something very clear, because I'm not going to dive too deep into it, but there was almost like a negative comment that was flowing around against John Murdy. There was an individual on X that posted something that was not very positive. I just want to say, when it comes to something like with the Metro sets, it's not exactly Murdy's fault. Okay. We all have to understand he has a budget. And on top of that, it's up to the not only just the studio, but the park president to give Murdy that opportunity to use the Metro sets. So Murdy really does not have control on that. All he can do is request it, but if it's denied, he can do nothing about it. But on the other hand, I just want to say this as well. On the Metro sets, they did have 2 or 3 houses back there, and they had food trucks, they had entertainment, they had multiple scare zones. So it's a great possibility to expand the event, because if you think about it, what we saw opening weekend, it was like Armageddon times 10. It was so packed on the lower lot, on the upper lot, even where the Curious George little area is behind the parking structure for Terrifier and Poltergeist. It was crazy. So do I think they're going to eventually open the Metro sets? Yes, but it's not exactly up to Murdy to make that call.
And I'm glad you brought that up, Conductor, because I think it speaks to a wider problem in not just like theme park fandom, but just fandoms in general, where there's a lot of like people always want it like a figure to blame, right? Like a figure like, oh, it's Bob Chapek, and look, like, for example, Bob Chapek, he was not a great CEO. I'm not trying to pretend like he wasn't. I don't think he was the big bad villain like a lot of fans made him out to be. But at the same time, I don't think he was good either, right? So, but my point with it is that it's very easy just to kind of get in this mode where, you know, oh, I don't like that, so this person is to blame for it. These are big companies. Comcast Universal is a mega multinational corporation. These divisions are not really one person operations. You know what I'm saying? Like Murdy is one cog in that bigger machine. And like, yeah, he's got power, but he doesn't have all the power. He still has a boss too, right? He still has people he has to answer to. There's a great point, Conductor, where it's very easy. I think fans with limited knowledge from the outside looking in to sort of just blame a person for everything. And it's like, it's usually a lot more complicated. There's usually a lot more gray area to it than that. I do want to give a big shout out to Tones Poppy. He's in the house from Bad Thought Studio. I've never seen this many cuties on one screen. Hey, Tones, we love you, brother. The only way it can get any better is if you hop on, bro. You know, you get 4 cuties on one screen. That'd be pretty dope.
There you go.
But it's always good to see you, sir. But
yeah, shout out Tones, bro. Shout out Tones for sure, man. We'll lock in soon. I mean, shout out Candid Camper too.
Yes, absolutely. We had a ball at the timeshare a few weeks ago, dude. That was a lot of fun. Yeah, a lot of fun. But okay, so let's go ahead. I'm actually going to share my screen, and I'm going to play. I'm not going to play the audio. I have some content from TommyToon. Make sure everybody at home, you subscribe to TommyToon. I got some content here from Conductor. Make sure you subscribe to Conductor. But I'm going to kind of play this in the background, and we're going to talk about these mazes. Okay, and these mazes were wild. Now, Tommy, I'll start with you, brother. What was a standout maze for you personally? Like, what out of all these mazes that you attended at this event, what was your favorite?
Man, I have 4. This is titled RIP Tour Top 4, but no, my top, man, I have to say is probably Terrifier. I have to admit, man, that was the scariest, most intriguing. It was brand new, so it was like, ooh, so it wasn't a repeat. The thing is Five Nights at Freddy's is right up there too. I catch myself constantly rewatching my clips of that because just the set piece, it feels like you're in Freddy Fazbear's, right? That's what I really like. But the WWE house is definitely number 3, and Jason, they're fighting for number 3. Yeah.
All right, cool, man. Well, I want to actually, speaking of Terrifier, let me go back a little bit because this is great. This was a great moment that you had with the one and only Art the Clown, where you you grabbed his nose, or you stole his nose. Hold on, let's see this.
Right. So the thing is I would never touch the scare actors, right? And this normally wouldn't happen. If it was a female scare actor, like the Bride of Frankenstein, I proposed to her once, so I'll do something like that. But for him, he's a mime, he's goofy, he's probably gonna do some terrible things to me. So all I knew is let me steal his nose first. And people were commenting in one of my videos, and they're like, "Oh, that's a good setup in number 4. Someone should pretend to do that, like someone joking around, and then he should really cut their nose off."
Yeah. Oh, that's great. Yeah, Art the Clown was. I haven't seen any of the movies, by the way, but like he was so fun at this event. I saw him everywhere, man. He was like in the stores. He was out in the park walking around, and he was messing with people. He was scary, but at the same time, he brought like a fun vibe. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But Conductor, what about you, man? The mazes. What stood out for you personally?
So it's interesting to me because I have seen all the Terrifier movies. So Terrifier was absolutely incredible. And I was actually expecting, because when you look at the facade, you can see that entrance right there, and then the actual entrance we actually go through as guests. And I found it very interesting compared to Orlando that we only have one entrance, and kind of like I would say about halfway, maybe 3/4 of the way through the house, you go through the wet section. But in Orlando, you have an option where there's 2. I'm pretty sure there's 2 entrances. There's a dry path and a wet path. Ours is kind of mixed in with each other. So for me, Terrifier was awesome, and I cannot wait for number 4 to come out. My other top one was FNAF, because I've played all the video games, and I literally it wasn't a scary house, but it brought nostalgic back from when I was a kid, going to the Chuck E. Cheese's, seeing the animatronic band, interacting with the you know, Chuck E. Cheese himself, when he walks the floor, interacts with the kids.
Yeah.
That kind of brought me back. And then my third house, I would have to say, is Jason. I have to go with one of the OG horror titans of all. It was absolutely incredible. I was not expecting the wait times out of that house.
Yeah.
And I would say every single night from Thursday, which was the grand opening night, to Saturday when me and Tommy left, that house had it was not lower than an hour each night. That's how crazy it was. I think at one point it got up to, it was like 260 minutes.
Well, it's crazy, Conductor. You're right, because I didn't even get to go on that one that night because the line was like crazy long. I'm going to go back in October, but here's the thing: I think a lot of people, and you guys are more tuned in, tapped into the Universal HHN fan base. But am I incorrect in saying that leading up to HHN, that was kind of one that people kind of slept on, like?
Yes.
Right? Like it was a franchise. People were kind of like, I don't know about this one. And then when it premiered, it was like, that was like the hit. Like people were really like enjoying that one, you know?
Definitely. And you know, something interesting about that house as well is that it had every different iteration of Jason from the very beginning all the way to the end. The only one it didn't really have was
the
that
New York one, right?
Yeah, the New York one where he kind of has that futuristic mask. But every single other movie that was a Jason movie had his version of that character in the house. And not only shout out to the scare actors that played Jason, but all the other characters. The set pieces were absolutely phenomenal. I would highly recommend that house. But, you know, I have to say, out of all these houses, this year alone has been one of the most impressive years for HHN, I have to say, ever, or at least since 2016. Because if you look at the calendar right now, this is a prime example. If you look at the calendar to buy tickets for Express, the entire month of September sold out on Express. Maybe some other tickets as well. And I can guarantee you Express is going to sell out for October, especially October the 31st, Halloween night. I can almost promise you that night and November the 2nd, which is the last night of the event for the year, all the tickets are going to be sold out both those nights.
Well, Conductor, I want to kind of circle back a little bit to Terrifier for a second, because the first time I went to HHN was actually last October, right? And I've said it many times on the channel, I'm not a horror fan, and I'm not really even a Halloween fan, and I fell in love with this event. So that says a lot, right?
Sure.
But one of the coolest things about these mazes is that Universal really does incorporate like all your senses. Like for the Chainsaw Massacre maze, right? Last year.
Yeah.
It was like pretty gnarly in there. Like it would like Universal like had that whole place smelling like it was like rotting flesh or some stuff. Like it was
so that
crazy.
Smells back. It's back in Terrifier. It's that barnyard smell, like a pig or a cow, right? Yeah. So they had that in Exorcist. They bring it for Texas Chainsaw. Now it's in Terrifier in the bathroom scene in the restroom, bro. It's bad, bro. It's rough. But man, you know, in Five Nights at Freddy's, dude, they definitely got the smell-o-vision in there because you're walking through the kitchen, you can smell pizza. Yeah, they have the pizza scent coming on. Yeah, and I was like, oh, that's the first I've ever had that. And most of the time it's gross, you know.
Yeah.
So that was super cool, man.
That is pretty dope. That is pretty dope. I'm gonna check out the Five Nights next time I go for sure, because that one looks pretty interesting. And also do want to ask you guys, because you mentioned a wet zone, Conductor, and you're not talking about bidets, right? You're talking about the maze, right? Okay.
Conversation.
Just want to make sure, buddy. Just want to make sure. No, but in all
but like in Florida, they in the middle of the Terrifier maze, you could either go through the wet side or the bloody side, or the dry side or the bloody side, and you know, Art's hanging above, like trying to tell you to go to the wet bloody side. In this one, we just get straight wet, bro. Sure. Like the cloth strips that you walk through, like the drapes, they were like soaking wet the first day, and it would just like lather on you. And then like in the Tommy gun scene, when he shoots at the barrels, it kind of squirts at you. And then when the scene when he's wearing the wig and he cuts her neck, it squirts at that person right in front. Yeah, that was super sick.
I just want to clarify, and Albert actually posted in the comments, he corrected me. In Orlando, he says it's the exit that has 2 paths, a wet path and a dry path. So they're, different paths are at the exit. Ours is kind of like 3/4 of the way in, and it's part of the house. You can't escape it. But, it's funny that Tommy says about the drapes that you walk through that were soaking wet. I'm like, I actually didn't mind that, believe it or not, because it was hot that day. I'm like, oh, this feels nice. I'm like, okay, yeah, whatever. You know what? Take a hose and just drench the damn thing. I don't care. But
that's good, man. That scene though, right there, that when he's in the clown suit, man. So I got a couple people asking me, why don't they have the Santa art roaming around? Because Orlando does. So I don't know why we didn't get Santa art like with the bag kind of running around the park. But there's only like 2 actors in there, 2 different scare zone parts that they jump out at you. So maybe they just don't have enough, Santa suits. But they have the Grinch mist, so I don't know.
Yeah, that's wild. Now with the water stuff, have they ever done that before in these mazes that we're aware of, or is that like a new thing that they're trying out?
What, the water effect or the drapes being soaked?
Well, no, yeah, the water effect essentially. I mean,
they have. I forgot what houses they've used them on, but they have used them before.
But they're going hard this year because even in this house, there's like a witch brew, and then she pops up and she squirts you with water. Like this house is crazy, but the water, like you said, that's actual like touch. The water's touching you. Then you can smell. You can smell pizza. You can smell something gross. Then you're getting scared. And what's cool too? I thought of another aspect where you're touching is you're moving those things where you kind of have to maneuver through. Sometimes it's a big like meat slab, or sometimes you're walking through like corn stalks. So they want you to get all the sensory in there for sure. Like, so I see where you're coming from, OG. Like, it kind of gets you. I never really thought about that, but you're coming in like checking this out like as a different, in a different point of view. So that is pretty sick, dude.
Oh, it's really sick. It's really sick. And it's like, it's kind of crazy too. Like you mentioned, like going through those little hallways and you're moving like the meat and stuff or the corn stalks. That's like a psychological, that's like a mind fuck, because when you're moving that, you don't know what's like behind there and stuff. And like, it's kind of freaky, right? Like, it's like you're going through there like, oh man, I don't know. But Tommy, I paused it on this part right here because I'm not into the WWE stuff. Like, I don't really know the lore. When I was a kid, I did watch some of it, but it's been years. But when we were waiting in line for this, you knew like the kind of like the backstory for this whole maze and kind of like, what was kind of involved with that. If you want to let everybody know and kind of give, set the table, no pun intended, there's a table here. If you want to set the table, and kind of let people know like what's behind why it's 6.
Man, so that's a good viewpoint. So I was even thinking like I've been going into this maze 4 or 5 times all weekend, and I kind of know the aspects what you're saying, but people are kind of going in, and it may even feel like an original maze, like Monstrose or something like that, Scarecrow. But yeah, so Wyatt 6, man, is it's a group, it's a family, the Wyatt family. Bray Wyatt, the late Bray Wyatt, man, rest in peace. He passed away. He was the leader of this. He was Bray Wyatt, or the Fiend towards the end. He would change into an alter ego. So the cool thing is Bray Wyatt, like basically brought all these human animals to life. They came to like help him basically. This is Uncle Howdy. This isn't Bray Wyatt's character. So this is Uncle Howdy. I assume he's looking at a cake, and the lantern has to do with Bray Wyatt. So I assume he's like, maybe even like they're celebrating Bray Wyatt. It's crazy when they come out, man. They dangle the lantern. It's dark and stuff. Man, like I said, I really miss Bray Wyatt's everything about him in the WWE. But this house is crazy because they kind of give you a weird aspect. They take you through like the Camp Firefly zone.
It was very much like the Pirates of the Caribbean Bayou vibe outside.
Yeah, and that's what it is. Because in Florida, Christian at the park, shout out him, he was telling me a little bit about it. He was saying some of it's like in like the playtime area where he kind of has like a playtime it's weird. It's like a horror movie. But yeah, like I said, this is Uncle Howdy. I think Bo Dallas is his name, that his other moniker. But they're really respecting and showing love, and WWE really stood out of their way, because I feel like WWE didn't really know what to do with this group for a little bit, because there's not much horror or some aspect of that to go into the storyline for wrestling right now. They're kind of going more professional, like UFC, and since they did the signing with TKO. So, you know, this is it, man. I'm glad that they put him here, because this is the best place to put it. Yeah, we got OG through this, Conductor, man.
Yeah.
This was crazy. I can't believe we got him through this. I thought this was going to be packed. We lucked out going through this one.
Oh,
No.
I love this one, man. This was a great maze.
No,
Yeah.
it was absolutely fantastic. And when me and Tommy went through it on Thursday for the grand opening and we did the RIP tour, I think I was more excited to see Tommy's reaction, since he's such a big fan of the WWE, of UFC, of this whole genre. I was more excited to see his reaction. And for me to walk through it, you know, I again, I'm with OG. I'm not the biggest fan. I watched a little bit here and there years and years and years ago. But you know, again, how hard they go with these set pieces, the costumes, the scenes. It's just absolutely incredible. So again, I want to shout out to John Murdy, the creative team. Everything they did for this year's event has been absolutely fantastic. That's why we're seeing the numbers we are seeing, you know, seeing that Express and probably other ticket options are selling out, you know, a month in advance for this. And Jay Brand makes a funny point. He said HHN is shaping up to be as much of an American rite of passage as going to Disneyland Park in general.
Well, you know, it's funny. I kept this comment up because I really wanted to touch upon that. And you know, there is probably some truth to this, in that maybe not quite as much, but like HHN has really shaped up to be like the experience for the Halloween season. And I know, at least out here in Southern California, and I'm sure it's the same way in Florida, if you're going to do, I mean, did you really celebrate Halloween if you didn't go to HHN? You know what I'm saying? It kind of feels like that. You know what I'm saying? So he's kind of right. I mean, it kind of does feel like a must do for that Halloween season, right? So now we got the one and only Mr. Theme Park Wizard in the house. Mr. Wizard is in the house. Everybody at home, if you're not following Theme Park Wizard, you're not subscribed to him on YouTube, do yourself a favor and go subscribe to this man on YouTube. He's a friend of the channel. He's family here. We love Wizard, and he does great content, both Disney and a lot of Universal. So YouTube, Instagram, all that stuff. Now, Wizard here is saying WWE is my second to the last on my list, unfortunately.
I could see that. I could see that. You know, I actually seen some people put Monstros last as well. You know what I mean? And actually, Poltergeist was higher on the list. So I definitely see that, because people may, you know, view it as, it kind of looks kind of, you know, I'm not sure. You know what I mean? It has different aspects of it that you may not enjoy. So I definitely get it, but it's hard. My lowest on the list is Scarecrow for sure. It's hindered, man. Horror Unleashed, I have to say, man, their Scarecrow is killing it. So I'm glad I got to compare it to that, because, man, Horror Unleashed was getting some baggage. And now I can say there's one good thing at Horror Unleashed, you know.
Well, yeah, no, that's true. Now this scene right here, Tommy. Hold on one sec. Where is that, dude? This thing right here. Give me 1 second while I get to it.
I think it was a little bit
before that.
The projection was, it was before it. Here it's coming right after this. That's scary,
that is
right?
crazy. Oh my god, dude. This now, what house? This is Jason, right? Or
this is Jason, but look at this. I caught the scene. This doesn't happen all the time. He shoots the arrow at the girl. You don't get this. Every walkthrough doesn't get this. Boom, right there. Everybody doesn't get that right there with the woman falling right in front of you. So that was crazy. Like a lot of ones don't have scenes. Universal Monsters had a scene last year. All the Horror Unleashed houses in Vegas have a scene though, kind of like that. It's like a 20-second to 45-second scene.
Okay. Now I didn't get to do Freddy's. I'm gonna try that next time I go. But in terms of scare factor, because I know this franchise is pretty popular with kids, right, and stuff like that. I mean, were the scares up there, Conductor, or was it sort of more mild because of that element?
I kind of feel like, you know, there was no scares, at least for me. You know, there was a couple moments where I got, maybe startled because, I'm trying to film, for a POV, and I'm not really paying attention 100% of where I'm going.
Right.
So, but again, this kind of just reminds me, at least for me, it reminds me of my childhood going to Chuck E. Cheese, but obviously on a more evil scale. But no, I really didn't feel like FNAF was a scary house. I think it was more nostalgic, and I loved it. And I tell you that besides the house and just the animatronics, shout out the company that made the animatronics. You guys are
Jim
incredible.
Henson. Jim Henson.
Man,
that's crazy to me. Jim Henson, dude. Jim Henson. Crazy. That's wild.
Yeah.
These ones too. Yeah, the models for the theme park they worked on.
Yeah,
so that's what's crazy. Yeah,
they're so screen accurate. It's crazy. So it was so fun going through this house. The merch was flying off the shelves. Obviously, you saw in Tommy's video that I was wearing the FNAF shirt, so that I got there. So I was super excited. But on a scale 1 to 10 for scary, I would probably put it at maybe a 3, if that. It was more a fun.
I like what you said. It's fun. It's the fun house. But guess what? The fun aspect will overshadow the scares because the scares were lackluster. They were basically the kids, the dead kids that they would that are, in the suits, but they come at you as ghosts all bloody. So they'll pop in through the curtain or pop in behind an arcade and stuff. So that's the human aspect that's like the scare. But you're so like dazzled by these animatronics. You're like what he said, Conductor, it's like your childhood, either your childhood from playing the game, if you're a little bit younger than us, or for us like Chuck E. Cheese. It's crazy seeing these, and they're playing out like the movie, like exactly. So that's why you're like, oh my god, are they going to show this? And then at the end you get the main attraction, the spring trap. So that was sick, dude. Like, I have to admit though, like the night we went, OG, my favorite house was Scarecrow. And it's weird to say that because that was towards the end of the night, but we had every jump scare. Every actor was there. They're coming at you at every angle. It really depends your walkthrough and the day and what kind of ticket you have and everything. I swear there's tons of aspects. And it sucks when you wait in line 2.5 hours, 3 hours for Terrifier or FNAF. And you get a walkthrough that's lackluster because the puppeteer is on break or he's changing out.
Yeah.
Or this actor wasn't there at this time. So like me and Conductor burned through these houses like 5 to 10 times throughout the whole trip. But you have to because you want to go in for fun. We want to go in and get the footage because of us. But normally, but I'm sure a lot of people like to record too for their personal reasons on their socials. Yeah. So the cool thing about Hollywood is they let you record in the house. So A++ for that. No complaining. Everybody can record. They're all game. And you get the scare actors like acting like more. They literally project more if they see a camera.
Yes.
So like you get crazy hits, bro. It's crazy.
Yes. And I was literally gonna say that. That's something I absolutely love is going through these houses. Now I kind of felt that with even Horrors Unleashed the second day. The first day was kind of I'm gonna say a rehearsal because there was some minor issues with security. But the second day, just like Tommy said, and just like we see here at Halloween Horror Nights.
Oh, you're good. You're good.
Yeah, the poltergeist hand, that hand is going crazy, bro. That thing was scaring me, but at one point it opened up too much, and I saw like the kid actor. He was like,
Dude,
he
and
didn't
that's
have
a
anything else. It was just like, yeah.
and that's a crazy effect right there because you're walking past this thing thinking, oh, it's just a like a projection, whatever. For that thing to come out of there, man, I wouldn't expect that. I don't know.
Right.
No,
Scary
no,
stuff, dude.
no. But like I was saying, sorry about that. Like I was saying though, you know, when they do see a camera, because they have like little screens where they pop out from, so they could see what guests are coming, so they know when people are filming. They definitely try to make their absolute best to go at the camera, which is absolutely fantastic for us content creators. But again, like this, you know, going through the poltergeist house, there was something I saw online. Shout out Adam the Woo and Romaland. They actually went to the house opening weekend
Oh,
of Poltergeist
Wow.
at HHN. I saw, you know, pictures, and they might have even done a video. They were actually at the house where they shot Poltergeist. I'm like, you guys are nuts.
Oh yeah, man, that's awesome. Yeah, that's pretty dope. Now, before we continue, I want to hit up the chat a little bit. Now Robert White here says, you know, my favorite in Orlando is Jason Universe. Insane jump scares everywhere. I'm telling you, Robert, I didn't do that one yet, but that one seems like the sleeper hit even out here in Hollywood. I mean,
well, the thing is, they needed the '80s slasher for that generation. Then we got FNAF for the younger generation. Then Terrifier's like the new gore, like the new Jason, right? The new gory craziness. So they got all aspects. That's why they are going crazy selling these tickets out. It's terrible. You can't even. I was talking to George the Italiano. Shout out him and Abby. They're actually going to HHN tonight, and everything is sold out. Like you can't get early entry. It's just rough.
It's crazy. No, it's crazy. I talked to him a little bit ago. He said it's crazy busy. They're waiting to get into the park. The same thing I went through, you know, because I don't think they have early entry this time, and they're out there and it's packed, man. It's absolutely crazy. But I love to see that, not because I want George and Abby to wait a million years, but I like when these companies do a good product or do a good experience and people support it. I mean, that's good for us because we'll get more of it. You know what I'm saying? Johnny Ace, Johnny, I want to thank you so much for joining us. I do appreciate you, Johnny. He's saying here, last year I went to HHN and my major complaint was HHN team members pushing the conga line too fast. And it was causing the guests in the back of me pushing and tripping me. Did you have that issue this year? Actually, no, I actually didn't have that issue. I actually had a really fun experience actually in the Scarecrow maze, the last maze we did. There was this really cool couple behind me. They were from like Thailand, I think, or something. And him and his girlfriend, and his girlfriend, man, was so scared. And the guy was cracking up. And I asked him, "Is this your first time?" He's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Oh, probably her last time though, because I don't think she's really." But it was really, really fun. I mean, it was a fun experience, and that's one of the things I love about these mazes is that it's kind of a bonding experience with like who you go with and even just people around you, because you're going through these mazes, you're getting scared together, and you're kind of just like shooting the shit. I don't know. Johnny, I didn't have that experience, but Tommy, did you have any issue? You guys went through more of these than I did, so maybe you had that problem.
That normally is the problem. I know people complain about that more towards the end of the season too. And these guys have a job, and that may actually just be their job. So I had it once, and it was Saturday night. So it was, 3 days in, towards the end of the night, it was at Fallout. And the guy saying, keep it pushing, because they weren't stopping.
Yeah.
Okay, so they either cut the line sometimes short, and then, the cool thing is inside, though, I didn't get backed up too much where they started complaining, telling us to go. It was just in the front in the maze before you go in.
Okay. What about you, Conductor?
So I actually did not run into that problem hardly at all. There was a backup inside the houses, but that's completely understandable. Especially the very first night, I kind of felt there was a little. I wouldn't say it was much of an issue, but it did happen quite a bit on Thursday, because you have to remember we had news cameras there. We had big media going through the houses with big cameras with the lights on, and all that. Then you had some of the scare actors or the actors that play these scare actors in the movies. Like we had the actor from Terrifier, Art the Clown. His whole entourage went through Terrifier. And then I think when we went through FNAF, they just got done with the news. Well, Tommy was able to walk in FNAF ahead of the camera people, and he got every little inch of footage. So I'm jealous of him. I got stuck behind the camera guy, so I had to go back and refilm the video again for the house. But you know, again, that's expected for the first night of the event, because about, I would say about, what is it, Tommy, about maybe an hour before the event starts, maybe an hour and a half, they have a red carpet event in City Walk where they have content creators like Mondo, you know, JP Land, you know, big YouTubers like that on the red carpet, Jake Stewart. And then you also have, you know, the actors, you have celebrities on the red carpet. So there's a lot of media in there. And then they move from that area inside the park, and then they start hitting the houses. So that can cause backup as well. But after that night, Friday and Saturday, I really did not feel like team members were pushing. I know like 2 years ago, there was a massive issue because, you know, us content creators, we want to capture the footage and then present it to our community on our channels. And one of the biggest problems everybody was saying, even the bigger YouTube channels, was that they kept catching team members saying, keep moving, and that was like a nonstop issue on everyone's video, and it was so annoying. This time I didn't feel like they were doing that. They had the little light wands, and they were just kind of making the movement to kind of just keep moving. They weren't saying anything. So shout out to them for doing that, because I know, you know, by saying keep it moving on a video and you're trying to record Halloween type horror gore stuff and you're hearing that, it's like it ruins it.
Now you did mention
that, but like, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead, Tommy. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I mean, well, that too, but even if you're just a normal, like, just haunted house goer, you know, you don't want someone ruining like your walkthrough, especially you waited 2 hours to go in and someone's like, hurry up. You're like, man, this is only a 4-minute house and I just waited 3 hours. Like, I might as well take my time.
Yeah, 100%. Now, you did mention Mondo, so I want to do one little thing. We live. There we go. And then Mr. Theme Park Wizard here gives his top 3. He's saying number 1, Terrifier, and number 2 and 3, FNAF and Jason. So everybody at home, everyone at home, comment down below with your like top 3, top 5, whatever in the comments. I'm very, very curious. And then also one thing before we move on, Wizard saying tomorrow the Fast and Furious gift shop opens for the new attraction. So that's crazy.
No way.
I'm going tomorrow. Wizard, I'm going to see you there. I'm going tomorrow. I'm going to pack my bag and I'm going tomorrow.
100%. There it is. He's going to see you there, Wizard. He's going to see you there. I'm going to be spending a lot of time in that gift shop because I'm not going to be riding that thing. So.
You're riding it. You're riding it. Don't you start.
Hey, I feel you on that, though. I feel you, bro.
You know what I'm saying?
That thing's going to be crazy, dude. That thing looks insane. I can't wait to ride it. It's going to be fire.
I'll buy you a couple drinks, but you have to go on it. You can.
Oh,
That's even worse, bro. That's even worse.
You can hug me if you want.
Oh yeah. Okay. Oh, just a couple of straight dudes hugging each other, going through the coaster. You know, no biggie. You know,
it's all about families, so why not? That's relevant.
Exactly. Oh, one thing I do want to bring up. Actually, give me 1 second. Let me bring up this. Give me 1 second, guys. We got Mr. Webba in the house. So we got Mr. Webba in the house.
Let's go.
And we also got the Italiano. George is there right now with Abby. And he's saying right here, hold on one second, let me pause this real quick. In line for 5 nights at Freddy's, they need a better way to direct people if they want to have 5 different lines and 1 team member holding a sign smaller than his balls. So
yeah. Oh man,
that's rough, man. It's rough having small balls, huh, George? Man, that sucks, dude.
No, it's rough waiting in line, bro, because it's where the weekend was last year, and the weekend got packed, bro. They zigzag you out. It's like, it's terrible, bro. Like, it's a really bad location. So I'm glad he's gonna push through and get through it, though, because man, it's a tough thing, and he's general admission right now. So after that, he may be able to hit, Wyatt 6 if he hasn't hit it yet. He may not be able to hit Jason. I don't know. That line's going to be even worse.
Oh, that one's rough. Yeah. Now, Citrico Central, make sure everybody head over there too and check them out on YouTube. I know he's going to do some content for HHN tonight. So check it out in the coming days. I'm sure George will have a ton of stuff for that. So make sure you subscribe to the Italiano over there at Citrico. And then Wizard saying that he loves going during team member previews. There's no line. So
I bet. That's sick, dude.
That's a fair point. That's a fair point. Now, this Poltergeist, did we do this on the night that I went with you guys? I don't think we did.
No.
I don't think we did.
I think it was
something for you to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think when we got a Terrifier, I think it was like 45, 50 minutes.
But he didn't do Terrifier, actually. We didn't even go.
Oh, no. You're right. You're right. But I think Terrifier at the time was like 260 minutes. So we kind of just blew that off, which is, again, that just goes to show you, and me and Tommy were talking about it. Art the Clown is not done at Halloween Horror Nights. I kind of feel he's going to come back for another house based off number 4, and I cannot wait.
It's actually 7 o'clock. I mean, 7:06. Conductor, you want to pull up the wait times and see?
Yes.
While we're hanging out right here, let's just check. I mean, we had early entry. We had the entry before 2 p.m. or after 2 p.m. So we had multiple options to get in. And then I heard lately FNAF has been opened up at 4:50 p.m. So people get in line early, man. Early bird.
Okay, so this is our lineup right now. FNAF is 60 minutes. Chainsaw Man, which is at the DreamWorks Theater, is only 20 minutes. Fallout is 25. Let's see. Jason Universe is 40. Monsters 3 is 10. Poltergeist is 5. Scarecrow is an hour. Terrifier is 50 minutes. Terror Tram has no wait. Wyatt 6 has 25 minutes. And I think that's it for right now.
Well, the night's young though. That's kind of how our night started, and then that Jason one fills up real quick. So
yes,
yeah.
But I tell you guys, walking through that FNAF house, George will not be disappointed. There was so much to look at. Okay, so I have to clarify this because Poltergeist, that was the only bad house. If I had to give any negative anything, Poltergeist was the bad house, I call it, because Wizard makes an excellent point. I'm going to talk to him more about it tomorrow when I see him. But the Black Wall situation was absolutely ridiculous. I think, again, it couldn't have been a budget issue. That's why that house was even part of this lineup. But I kind of felt like Poltergeist had enough, theming where they didn't need to have black walls, and yet they did. There was a lot more than I was expecting. It was on the level of Insidious, because I know we've had Insidious in the past, and that has been a black wall house situation problem for quite some time. So yeah, Poltergeist was the only house I give negativity to, but the rest of the lineup is just fire.
But smart placement by Universal, putting the redo house, the one we've already been through, they've already had Poltergeist, next to Terrifier. I mean, they were probably thinking what's going to fill up the most and what's not. But man, super sleepers to me that, of course, I'm not bringing up, but Monstros 3 and Fallout, those back-to-back too, since they're next to each other, it's just like a perfect combo, especially if all the crowds are at the other houses and you kind of want to get away from the majority of the crowds. And Fallout, they really put all their money into that because they were pushing the foods and everything like that. So,
and we'll get into that because Tommy and I we tried a bunch of the foods, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. But Mr. Webber here says this is a huge reason why I love FanFest. For a base ticket, I was able to experience everything the event has to offer, which was a fantastic experience. HHN is super crazy, and I'm not waiting 3 hours. Yeah, I mean, you know, if you play it smart, like we on Friday, it was the opening weekend, right? That we went, and we hit what 4 mazes. We hit Terror Tram, and we still got to check out a lot of the foods and the vibe. So we still did quite a bit. If you play it pretty smart, you can probably get most of it in. But I'm definitely going to go back again because I want to hit up some of these other ones like Terrifier and stuff. But it's hard, you know. There is more demand for HHN, so there's just going to be crazier lines, you know.
Yeah, and HHN, that's their cream of the crop. That's their baby, right? That's where they're putting all their money in. And man, like kudos to Universal, and like Conductor always tips his hat to Universal because man, every section felt different. Man, we had, you know, I mean, the Hell Bullies. That's the new scare zone by the Terror Tram. That thing was so sick, and they had like people in like ghillie suits. Like that thing was crazy, bro. Like it was just a fire event. But what Webba was saying. FFN, you know, FanFest nights, that's going to be the coined phrase now. FFN is going to blow up even bigger because people seen, you know, what they did with Back to the Future. And if they do that crazy thing this year, you know, so you never know.
Oh, yeah. Wizard's here. Speaking of demand, Wizard here is saying it seems that after 11 p.m., Express is not offered this year because Express is so popular and been selling out. See, and that's interesting because one of the criticisms with Disney and their Lightning Lane program is that they don't really cap it enough because it's a lot of people in that system, right? So even when you get that Lightning Lane, you're still waiting in like forever. So I'm glad they're capping it. That's good, Wizard. That's very, very good.
But OG, to play the advocate on that one, bro, man, on Saturday, me and Conductor went through Express for Jason. And Andre, Scary Dre, he went through general admission, and we went through the same time. We pulled up to the front at the same time.
Wow. Okay. That's wild. Yeah. That is wild. That's crazy.
Wild.
Which is quite interesting because on the opposite side, we were waiting. Again, I think this was Saturday as well, Tommy. We were in Terrifier, and that's when I did my 3rd ever live stream on TikTok. Got over 100,000 likes, which
100K.
Everybody that wants that. I'm going to be doing a TikTok live tomorrow from Universal because of the store opening, according to Wizard. But Terrifier, we were in the Express line, and there was no one in the RIP line. And I'll get into that in a second, but we waited probably, what, Tommy, you want to say about 35 minutes in the Express line. So that just goes to show you how many people bought Express that night. And then reverting back to the RIP experience, anyone that wants to do RIP that's kind of scared because of what Universal did a couple years ago with not allowing you to use the RIP tour line after your tour guide is over, I'm happy to announce that Universal did go back to their old ways, and they are allowing people who have the RIP credentials after their tour, which usually they have a couple hours before the event closes, they can use the RIP tour line on every single house, even without your tour guide. So I just want to clarify that.
Perfect. All right, gentlemen, let's talk some food. Okay, this is a big part of the experience, you know what I'm saying? Big part of the experience. But while we're talking food, I'm going to share this fire reel that Tommy put together when we did our little drinking sesh at the Chucky bar. And those, hey, Candid's right. These were some heavy pours, you know what I'm saying? Heavy pours, but they were crushing it. Great. By the way, the gal, I don't remember her name. I wish I did. I'd give her a shout out. The gal who rang us up was like super nice. Dope. Yeah, she was awesome, dude. But let's start with the food, Tommy. We ate at that Fallout Cafe right there, not too far from this Chucky bar, and we got the loaded fries, we got the deviled eggs. Those I want to talk about those. And then what did you get? You got something else. You got a little bag.
Okay, so right. So it was plant-based meatloaf with it was like beef stroganoff, and I normally don't like plant-based, So, I'll take it, though. It was pretty good for what it was. But let's go back to what you said. So, man, you had the loaded cram fries. So in Fallout, they have a little can. It looks like Spam, but they call it cram. It's called, they get the cram in the nuclear wasteland. So we're having OG, man. By the way, food review coming soon on my page. So we got to be locked in for that, brother. Man, it's fire. OG is trying the cram fries. I'm trying the meatloaf. It's not a rad roach, but it's another name. It may be rad roach. And then also we got the deviled eggs, but they weren't real eggs. It was almost like pineapple and like cake, right?
Yeah,
how would you describe it, OG?
Dude, it was crazy because I'm not big on deviled eggs, right? But I'm gonna take one for the team, for the content. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go ahead and try one of these, and I'm kind of like, oh man, I gotta eat this egg. I bit into it. It's like cake with like almost like a pineapple like frosting. Bro, that was fire, bro. Like it was it was a hit. It was an absolute. It was a hit, dude. I love the deviled eggs. Don't let if you don't like deviled eggs in real like real deviled eggs, don't even let that phase you. Get the deviled eggs over there at the Fallout Cafe because they're fire and it's a dessert. It's not eggs.
Yeah, it's kind of bad though because come Saturday night, so Thursday, Friday, Saturday, right? I didn't go Sunday, unfortunately. Yeah, hit or miss. What's up, Wizard? But Saturday, everything was sold out. You know what I mean? One of the drinks was sold out, which was like the Quantum Fizz or something. The eggs were sold out. It was getting rough. I had to get the root beer. It was like the Sunset Sarsaparilla. And let me tell you, Universal went hard. I normally don't like Universal's food. It's usually 50-50. Sometimes it's too theme parkish and generic. But hey, they killed it this time. That Sunset Sarsaparilla was a hot honey root beer with vanilla cold foam. And then, like you said, the eggs were like pineapple cake. And then the cram fries were like, a protein plus fries. That's everybody loves that. I mean, man, they really went above and beyond. And then Conductor, I think you had some of the Jason barbecue, right?
I did. It was it was a mac and cheese. I call it a gourmet mac and cheese because you had kind of like those crispy fried onions on top, and then you had kind of like a pulled pork. Oh my god,
brisket.
No, you're right, brisket.
It's expensive,
dude. I tell you what, I kind of ate probably about 10 of those. It was that good. Like
there you go.
I was chewing in my head when I was eating that. I kid you the freak not. It was amazing.
Yeah, no, my food was great too. The loaded fries were good. I don't know, like if everyone has Tommy's, not this Tommy, but like the Tommy, the fast food chain. The fries were very similar to Tommy's, and then they had like, what was it, like Spam and like cheese all over it, Tommy, right?
Yeah, and aioli, and there were steak cut fries. So yeah, you were killing it, bro. You were scarfing those down, buddy. I knew they were good.
Oh yeah, bro. Those were fire. Those were fire. And then I topped it off with like a nice Modelo tall boy.
Oh, there you go.
That was dope.
Right.
That was dope. But yeah, overall, man, I mean, the little food that I had, I thought it was great. And I do want to Webba has a great question. I'm going to get to that in a second, but I do want to talk to you, Tommy, because I know you and I did go to the Chucky bar. Playtime was what, $18? The drink that we got?
Right, but it's a heavy pour.
Heavy pour.
They're pretty nice. The line could get kind of long, so hop in when you can. The Chucky bar was there last year, but this drink wasn't. These are different drinks. So you guys got to understand that we're not just getting the Chucky bar, air quote, right? We're getting something that's been there visually, but 2 out of 3 of these drinks are new.
Yeah.
Man, yeah, you killed it, bro. You said, hey, did you want a drink? I might as well go with it. That flavor was crazy, bro. I don't know. I liked it a lot. And like you said, it was strong, heavy pour.
I'm telling you, bro. Was it a hit or a miss?
100% it was a hit, especially we were hanging out, getting it cracking. Chucky was right behind us, man. Chucky was going to take us out, but he didn't have a knife. Chucky had a shaker, like a martini shaker.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. This drink was an absolute hit, and it actually had like a bunch of gummy bears in it, and so when you eat those gummies, because it soaks up all the alcohol, that buzz hits you a little bit later from the gummies, you know. So, but we also had another drink. You treated to the what was that canned drink that we got?
So it was like a seltzer. If it's at the end of this video on the bottom, you could kind of see it on the list. So or on the menu. That is from Orlando actually, and they actually brought it to Hollywood finally. They created that whole seltzer right there, the vodka cranberry one, just for HHN in Orlando, and now we get it. So happy birthday to us.
Yeah, no, that was dope. I enjoyed that one too. It was kind of like a White Claw kind of vibe, but it felt like it was a little bit stronger on the alcohol though, you know.
Right. It almost felt like a vodka cran in a can.
There you go. There you go. Absolutely. And then Slimer here says, if I enter a live chat of handsome bastards and get a boner, does that make me gay? Asking for you know, conductor. I'll pass that one on to you.
No. Slimer and Jared already know that answer. I'm not even going to engage in that.
Yeah. Oh, so I want to talk about this. This is a great question by Webba. Conductor, what did you think about the food, the price tag for some of the stuff? Did you think it was fair or?
Okay, so the mac and cheese I got with the brisket, pretty much everything at least that Jason Barbecue was about $17. I don't know what it was at the Fallout or the Chucky bar because I didn't eat there, but you know, for theme park food, I kind of felt like, as much as I loved the brisket mac and cheese, I kind of felt like it was very generic. You know, but there were some items at the Jason Barbecue, even the Fallout, from what I've seen, that's very unique. So I don't mind paying the higher prices for that type of stuff. But when you look at generic items that you can almost make at home, or just go to your local, you know, fast food place or around where you live and get almost the exact same thing for cheaper, that's the only thing I would say. So to answer Webba's question, I think it was decent. But again, like OG always likes to say, vote with your wallet. You know, pick and choose what you want to try, not try, you know, maybe skip or not skip. It's really up to you.
Yeah. What say you, Tommy? I mean, were the prices decent, or you feel like they were a little bit overpriced?
Conductor has a fair point. But you know, I think I tried a little bit more food, but hey, by the way, shout out Slimer, because he was right. The Jason house had all the different Jasons from out the decade. So you know, I just wanted to clarify that he was right on that. So going back to the food, not going to talk about the Fallout food because you have to check that video out.
Yes,
in like a week. I'm gonna drop it ASAP. But the Five Nights at Freddy's pepperoni pizza was $12.99. The cheese is $11.99. You know, the cupcake was like 10 or 11. It's like a waste of money. I mean, you know, I mean, the cupcake tastes good though. It's different than the Orlando one. The Orlando one actually has stuff on top, I think, that I might not like. But if any of our fan tries it, if any of our family out there tries that one, I'll have to ask. But this one literally had strawberry cream. So that made it. I was like super shocked that it was strawberry. I was like, way to go. Not just food dye, food coloring. At least we have that. Man, the shareable hot dog was $45. So, you know, they got to split that between like 3 people. That's at the Jason Barbecue. Everything else was like 17 to 20 at the Jason Barbecue. So it's pricey, but the line is filled the whole night. So that smell gets you. You come out, adrenaline's pumping. You're like, I'm hungry. And you might not get Panda Express because it's always there. But hey, you might. But you might get the theme food, and it's just pricey. You know what no one's talking about is right across to, the Studio Scoop, the ice cream spot. They have the Hello Kitty Chucky collab ice cream. Oh. And I'm sure that would get or go viral soon if we didn't have Five Nights at Terrifier there, because that thing looks good too for like a dessert, you know. But The Fallout food's pricey too, but the one thing I could tell everybody is there's a $65 dining pass that has 6 items, 2 entrees, 4 sides, but you may not get to buy everything you want with that. There's some items that it excludes. So I bailed on it this time, but when I go back with George and OG, hopefully Conductor makes it. But when I shoot out there in October with everybody again, we're going to get a pass and we're going to split it and we're going to rock out. Let's do it.
So I want to, kind of jump on what Tommy was saying with the pass. I kind of feel that Universal, and they did this with FanFest as well. They're kind of getting into that Disney way of doing the foods, which I absolutely love. I'm not against it whatsoever. I thought it was very cool. The lanyard you get for the food pass was even decked out, kind of like the RIP pass. So that was very cool that they spent time and effort to design that. So shout out to them. But one of the things that I was very curious about is when Tommy, because I went to go do some houses while he was doing his food review of the FNAF foods, like the pizza and the cupcake, was that Tommy was telling me, when you get the pizza for $12, the pizza is just a generic pizza. I kind of thought like maybe it was going to be somehow stamped with like some type of like logo of FNAF on the actual pizza. Like I've seen it on actual food on certain items. Or the fact that the pizza itself might have been shaped as like Freddy Fazbear's head or something like that. And it was just a basic generic pepperoni 4-slice or cheese slice pizza, but everyone was collecting the box. Like I saw people in line for the houses and they were just holding on to the box. So I thought that was pretty interesting.
Yeah.
And just real quick to add to that, I can confirm that the pizza is just a Studio Cafe pizza, and they do sell it throughout the day. And then they actually have to make the cupcakes. So it's not just stashed in the back and there's 100 of them. They're actually making them. So when I saw them, they're putting out like 3 at a time only, and I grabbed mine and everybody just, but you could grab it at early entry or even at 2 p.m. when you walk in. So if you really want to try some HHN foods, lock that in. The pizza still is delicious. It has a seasoning. Yeah, but it's the nostalgic. It's the, the aesthetic of the box.
100%. Now, Wizard's saying now that 5 Nights and Terrifier are at 100 minutes. So this is tracking pretty much what we had experienced last Friday. Where early on, the wait times are kind of doable, but it quickly escalates. You know what I'm saying? It quickly escalates. J. Brad here says it's just generic pizza. Sounds like it's perfectly in theme. There you go. So great conversation, boys. I mean, this is a good time. We had a great time last week. I definitely am going to hit it up again in October. I want to hit up. Oh, hold on one second. We got Johnny Mondo has confirmed tonight that the 5 Nights at Freddy cupcake is more available as it's now sold at more quick serve locations in the park.
So
this is great.
Yeah. So again, to kind of bounce off that comment is opening weekend is kind of like their trial and error type weekend. Things are not exactly going to be the way they want it opening weekend. Right. So I'm so glad something like that is at more quick service locations, because I have to tell you, the line that me and Tommy ran into nonstop all 3 days, watching people line up outside the Studio Cafe for the pizza, for the cupcake, it started causing a little bit of an issue, not only just traffic. On I'm going to quote George here, the walking path to head towards Transformers, Scarecrow, Super Nintendo World, FNAF, and the Transformers Vault store, which is now Production Central. It was causing a traffic jam because it was even leading into the way of people going into Panda Express and even the Jason Barbecue. So I'm glad that they're kind of separating where other people that do want to try that cupcake, and like Tommy said, he'll have a review on it. He said it was absolutely delicious. They'll have it at more locations, so that's a good thing.
Yep. No, absolutely. Absolutely. So we're going to go ahead and close it out for the evening. I want to thank Tommy and I want to thank Conductor. This is a great conversation, everybody. HHN is an absolute hit. I am in love with this event. I will be there every single year. It's amazing. But before we get out of here, and before these gentlemen share their where we can find them, we do have an outro, a great outro done by a Miss Mimi fan. If you are in the LA or OC area and you're looking for cool spots to eat, whether Korean barbecue, Japanese, boba, whatever it is, check out her Instagram, Mimi Fan, or her YouTube channel. I'll be linking it down below. Check her out. She has a lot of great content, really fun girl, and go ahead and support her on Instagram and on YouTube. TommyToon, I will start with you, my man. Where can everybody find you on social media? How can they subscribe to Mr. TommyToon?
Man, OG, thanks for having me on, bro. It's always a fun time, especially talking about HHN. And when we link up and hang out, it's always cool to recap. But yeah, man, you can find me on YouTube, right? You can find me there at TommyToon World. I just dropped a video, and I'm going to drop the food review hopefully in a couple days. And then I'm going to pump out Oogie Boogie. So we got a couple Halloween things. Also, you can find me on Instagram at TommyToon_. That's that more day-to-day. If you want to see what's happening right then, you should probably hop on that. And then I'm on TikTok now. Let's lock in TommyToon_world.
There he is. There he is, Mr. Theme Park Conductor, aka Mr. Choo Choo. Where can everybody find you on social media, Mr. Conductor?
Absolutely. And again, shout out to Orange Grove 55 and TommyToon World. It's always a blast talking about the theme parks, HHN, and very soon the Christmas season. Cannot wait. It's going to be exciting. But like OG said, I'm Theme Park Conductor. You can find me on YouTube, Instagram, Blue Sky at Theme Park Conductor. You can find me on TikTok at Theme Park Conductor 1. You can also find me on X at Theme Conductor. You can also find me every Sunday at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time for Conductor Sunday live stream, where we have amazing guests like the one and only Orange Grove 55 and the Grand Explorer TommyToon World, as we break down Universal, Disneyland, HHN, theme park news around the world, and so much more. It's such a great time. And we're going to start resuming that very soon. I'm going to try to start it back up this Sunday, possibly the following Sunday. But programming note, like I was interacting with Wizard in the chat, I am going to be at Universal Studios Hollywood tomorrow morning, because apparently, according to him, they are going to be opening the new merch store at the Fast and Furious show building. So I cannot wait to do a POV and then do another TikTok live for my 4th time. It's going to be absolutely incredible.
There he is. Make sure you follow and support Mr. Theme Park Conductor. And I also want to give a big thank you to TommyToon's audience and Conductor's audience. This is a multi-channel, multi-stream event. And if you're watching OG55 for the first time through Conductor or Tommy, I want to welcome everybody. And I want to thank you for watching this episode of OG55. Like I mentioned Mimi before, she's going to close us out. Thank you all for watching. And until the next time, see you.
Thank you so much for watching OG55. Don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe, and become a member today.